Hey killers, Kev here, and today we are going to be looking at 5 tips and tricks I wish I knew when starting Craftopia. Power slamming trees and ores will harvest them faster and gather for more and quickly sufficient to get the item that you are trying to gather. Not only on time, but also the amount that you will get will be a lot more quicker. Power slamming is usually used within combat, but you can use this move on almost anything. Found out that it works great on trees and ores. To perform a power slam, jump and then shortly followed by that, press the left click and hold it down to perform a slam attack. Judging and engaging this particular power slam on set items such as a tree or ore will actually diminish the rock a lot more faster due to the damage input or output, shall I say, that you are producing on that particular item, thus getting you the item more quickly and sufficient throughout your game. Making batteries within the game is probably one of the most confusing things within it, as they do not tell you pretty much earlier on how to make a battery within the game. Pretty easy, I'm going to run down on how to do it. First of all, you'll need to create a small generator, which can be made within the crafting table within the category called Power Tools. If you do not have this unlocked, then you will need to advance further into the game and then upgrading your altar tower to age yourself further. Upon making the generator, you will need a power supply to move the wheel in order to create the batteries. This is simple. You will need to obtain the monster prism. Again, that can be found within the crafting table, and it will cost you 3 iron ingots and 2 sand in order to make one of these items. When made, you will need to find either a sheep or a cow, should be located within any island that you can go to. Once upon finding the select candidate, you will need to reduce their health once it hits the purple bar. The best way I found of doing this is actually use your fists, slowly wilting away the HP of the select creature. When the health bar reaches the purple, stay at a moderate distance and equip the monster prism, then to proceed to throw it. This might take a few attempts to throw the prism, but they normally would fly away. You will need to go and retrieve them, as they do have a cooldown before the item will disappear. This function of catching animals is definitely inspired by Pokemon. Once upon catching a set creature, it should glitch 3 times like a Pokeball. The prism will then turn orange, signaling that you do or have caught the animal. Proceed to pick up the orange prism like you would with the original, and then proceed to throw it into the generating wheel. The animal that you have caught will display itself within the wheel, thus upon then generating energy to proceed producing batteries. Another thing to note is that most animals will die after a short period of time. Probably pick a cow over a sheep, as they normally would have more HP to make more batteries within the game, but that is going to be a personal preference again. Batteries are going to be one of the main source of crafting high-end items within the game, such as transportation, which is extremely useful within any point of the game. Now let's talk about transportation within the game. Helicopters within the game are probably going to be one of the best vehicles, personally, to craft and make within the game. Why, you ask, the HP on them is going to be pretty much all round, if not very good, and also it's going to be very mobile and probably one of the most outstanding vehicles within the game. Very easy to control and easy to get around, possibly the most satisfying to look around island and sufficient to getting around those islands too. You can create the helicopter in the crafting table, but again, if it does not display within the crafting table, you will need to age yourself further within the game. You can craft the helicopter for the same materials as most, if not all, of the other vehicles within the game to date, but handling on these vehicles is going to be atrocious and absolutely diabolical in small spaces. The buggy and the motorbike are probably the best for large open islands. The further you go into the game, you'll understand what I mean on that one. Via testing these within the game, the heli is an all-rounder for every island that you visit. Another thing which is a little bit buggy within the game is going to be the simple fact that you cannot retrieve the item once upon placing it within that set location, i.e. the island. For instance, if you do put a helicopter down within the main island, or a starter island shall we say, or even a different island if you're going to visit, you will not be able to pick up the designated vehicle that you've placed within that world to take with another one. Helicopters are extremely useful for getting on top of large terrain such as mountains within the set islands, buggies and bikes which also are going to slide around a lot, and the hoverboard I have not included within this particular set, as I personally feel the hoverboard is a complete waste of time. But I digress, and that is a personal opinion once again. You could really enjoy the hoverboard, and if you get it mastered, trust me, probably one of the better vehicles out of completely all of them, diverse and super fast too. If you've hovered the masterboard, the motorbike will be a slice of cake for you, that is for sure. And personally, again, back to the helicopter thing, or if not all of the objects within the game, they will actually diminish over time. The HP on them will wit, and that will, whether you're sort of just cruising around or hitting other objects or terrain within the game. So for longer journeys or exploring islands on the mass, I'd probably pick the select few vehicles that you are going though into that terrain. The larger the object, or the larger the island shall I say, the larger the object, again a buggy, but for short enclosed areas I'd probably pick the helicopter. Super easy control, and overall just really a joy, not only of flying but also looking around at the surrounding area too. Flat rocks are going to be scattered around different islands with different ores in them, such as iron, stone, or even sand, possibly even high-end other different ores or materials, thus going into further on into the later game. These flat rocks can be mined for infinite time with infinite resources, thus meaning that you can get a weighted object or even a macro clicker to sit there on these flat rocks and continue to keep mining them for the resources that you have chosen. I'd highly suggest bringing a lot, if not a few, pickaxes with you of your max tier that you can create on your adventure to those islands. Yes, you can repair the pickaxes within the game, but a small overall stat decrease will diminish over time on that set pickaxe. So it's probably best to bring a few for a fresh quality for longer durability too. This works great for anyone who is wanting to mass produce ingots within the game, as they are going to be essential for most of the recipes within the game. Now let's talk about dungeons and challenge dungeons within the game. These short yet interesting dungeons and challenges can be found scattered around each and every island that you do visit to. 9 times out of 10 they are going to be extremely easy to do, so do not hesitate in going into them. Once upon proceeding into the game and unlocking higher tiers, they will get slightly harder, please do bear that in mind. Completing these dungeons or challenges will grant you rewards and get you a bunch of chests at the end, and also you'll grab yourself an item called Slat of Growth. Slat of Growth can be used to level up overall HP, stamina, or even mana within the game. You'll need to collect 4 of these at a time to then bring them up to the God in the Sky. Again, the best way is on the main island, the starter island, and to craft yourself a helicopter to get up there. For the items that you do not use, you can sell for quick cash at the market, and for those items that you do want to keep, you can pretty much upgrade your character. This is a great way to get items early game without having to use your own resources to create your own gear. Slats of growth are going to be the main objective of doing these challenges and dungeons, as overall they will upgrade and progress your character further to do better things within the game. I do believe that you can only run these one at a time and only once within each island. There's no reset or cooldown on these particular ones, there's no point in visiting them again. Once upon done, collect them and move on. So that means when you get it done, think very wisely on what you spend those slats on to progress your character with. So guys, this is the end of this particular video. This has been sort of 5 things I wish I knew once upon starting Craftopia within my game. Just a little heads up, maybe a little bit more focus to what I actually wanted to do within the game. Guys, if you did enjoy this video, if you want to see more Craftopia content on the channel, make sure to leave a comment down below. Leave a like on the video. It indicates, even if you do not want to leave a comment, that you want to see more content like this on the channel. But guys, until the next one, this has been Killerkev here, and Killerkev out.